Hello, welcome everyone. My name is Deepak Taide, and today we have a guest with us, Noah from Australia. Hello, Noah. Bhai, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. And you?
I'm going well, thank you.
Awesome. So let me tell you first about Noah Bhai. So Noah Bhai is from Australia. He is my English teacher as well as my language partner. Yes, he is learning Hindi and he's teaching me English. Great.
और मेरे लिए दीपक का मेरा हिंदी अध्यापक है.
Wow, thank you so much. Awesome. So yeah, would you like to tell us something about your country, Australia, and
Great.
about yourself? Would you like to introduce you?
Yeah, thank you. So I probably know some of the people that are watching this video. Some of you have joined the class that Deepak and I have done where we've been learning English through the Bible. So as Deepak said, I live in Australia and I live in a little country town in the middle of a farming area. It's an area called the Riverina. And yeah, so my job is that I'm a pastor of a church. So I'm a Christian, and that means that a lot of Christians go to church on a Sunday, and I kind of help run the church and keep in touch with everyone. So that's my job. I grew up in Canberra, which is the capital of Australia, and I have lived in a few different places, including in New Zealand for a little bit, but I've been in this place for 5 years.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Noah Bhai, could you please tell us about your childhood? So you grew up in Canberra, the capital city. So did you have kangaroos over there? And what was it like to be, growing up in Canberra?
Great, awesome. So Canberra is the capital of Australia. It's a really nice city. It's sort of in a valley and there's lots of hills, kind of like some of the cities up in the Himalaya area in India. It's quite a nice, very scenic area. So my parents live on a little farm. So there's lots of animals, kangaroos, echidnas, wallabies, and lots of birds. So that was great. In terms of my school, I grew up for the first 5 years or so of school, going to school like most other kids. But then for most of my childhood, I was homeschooled, which was actually pretty awesome. And all of you know about homeschooling now, since we're all having to do it because of COVID. And then after that, I did my degree in ministry, which is what it's called to study theology, the ideas of God and philosophy and the Bible. And then now I also teach in a high school. So I teach in a public school. So I've had kind of the whole spectrum from going to a private school and right at the beginning to homeschooling to now teaching in a public school.
Wow, awesome. So you were homeschooled.
I was,
and now
yeah.
you are a teacher at a high school. Awesome. And could you please tell us what homeschool mean? Because maybe people in India, they are not aware of this term homeschooling. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people right around the world have heard about homeschooling now that we're all in lockdown, or at least some of us have been in lockdown at some point. But my experience of homeschooling was a little different to what a lot of schools did during COVID. So when I started homeschooling, my mum taught me, and we had textbooks that we worked through just like in school, but it was a lot more sort of like, I guess, working around where I needed to grow. I could put more time, and where I was doing really well, I could spend a little less time. And what I loved about it was that it meant that I could really focus on the things that I'm passionate about. And for those of you who are listening, I guess an encouragement would be that something that I learned through homeschooling is if you set your mind on a goal and single-mindedly aim at that, then often you can get there. And so for me, fairly early on, I decided that ministry in a church was what I wanted to do, and it meant that I could really focus on the things that are important in that. So whether that's English and literature, whether it's public speaking, whether it's skills around interpretation, and even just creative writing and things like that. So I loved homeschooling. It was great.
Awesome. So yeah, personally, I went to normal school, public school for 12 years, then went to college for 3 years, and still people of my age, and I'm too, we are confused. We don't know what to do next. We are just we do college, and then we seek for job. Then we go to work, and then get tortured. But yet we are not able to find our ways. But you did it with homeschooling.
Yeah,
Awesome.
interesting if I could just jump in there. But it's that so often our school system is built around the idea that there's a sort of baseline knowledge that everyone has to know. And if everyone can just be have a functional understanding of maths and English and science, then that's enough for life. But actually, all of us go into jobs that are exactly the opposite, in which you need to be really good at something in particular. And so regardless of what school does, all of us really need to find those passions and giftings and really work at improving them as best as we can. And it's worth noting there, Deepak, that you've really done that you found the areas that you're passionate about and then chased after them. It's awesome.
Yeah, so I sort of, I was realizing my ways as I did a lot of jobs, as I took many jobs, I work at many places, and then I started realizing that what to do next. And it was like, I'm a teacher, but I don't have any specific degree of bachelor's in education or something. But I just, went through, as you said, I followed the thing, and yeah, I became a teacher too without a degree. But and I'm finding it interesting, and yeah, I'm sort of doing well in it.
Awesome. Random piece of information out of that. Since we're talking about teaching and education, in my whole life, I've never done an exam. So random piece of information. I've done one exam, but it was an open book exam and you had 24 hours to do it at home. So that was in my, because for my degree, I did most of my degree online. And something that homeschooling really taught me is that you have to be self-motivated. If you want to reach your goals, if you want to get somewhere in life, you really have to take responsibility for your own learning. And so, yeah, I've never done an exam in my life. I think that you've probably done a lot more exams than I have, Deepak.
Yeah, almost everyone, we had to take exams. Oh my God, maybe hundreds of, maybe 500 or more, something like that.
Whoa.
So it's really incredible to know that you haven't done any exam and yet you are so successful, And in India, we measure our successes through exams and through grades and numbers. So, and you are telling the stuff which is completely opposite to that. So, yeah, do you have any advice for parents who are just, since so many parents would be watching to this conversation, some of my students' parents, so would you like to give them any advice about their...
Yeah, well, I'm not a parent, but looking from the outside in, and something that I really appreciated that my parents and my mum in particular did for me is having the conversation around what I was passionate about. My mum allowed me to, and when I was a child, I didn't know what I wanted to do. Sometimes I wanted to be this, sometimes I wanted to be that. And my mum was really supportive of that, and realizing that, I think looking back, I realized my mum taught me how to learn more than what to learn. And once you learn how to learn, you can get anywhere in life because you know how to get the skills that you need. But if you only focus on what you need to know, you're going to only be stuck with that limited knowledge. And so I'm so grateful for my parents for really teaching me how to learn. And so now I love learning. I love just researching things. And in my job as a pastor, I get to teach the Bible, and it means I'm also having to work out new ways to get people excited about learning. And so, yeah, my encouragement would be really for parents, teach your kids how to learn, teach them to be excited about learning. And for students that are watching, if you're watching and you're a student, can I encourage you, rather than focusing on how to get the highest mark, because, when you're like 25, when you're 30, when you're 40, no one asks what your marks were at school. No one. But they do remember your character, and they do remember the attitude with which you learned. And that's going to be what sets you up for life.
Wow, some awesome advice for us. Great. So yeah, it's really encouraging that how to learn. We should teach our kids how to learn, but instead we just focus on what to learn, the stuff which teacher tell you to learn. We just focus on that. And so I've noticed that some parents are just they're just pushing their kids to be taught by teachers. They're just pushing their kids that it is not our responsibility. They are just avoiding responsibilities and pushing
Mhm.
their kids to become responsibilities of teachers and schools.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Well, that's I see that in Australia as well. But I guess one of the life lessons is wherever people are not taking responsibility, that's also an opportunity. And so, what I'm excited about the current generation of young people is that there's a lot of people that are stepping up and going, if I want to get somewhere in life, I have to take responsibility myself. And so, yeah, it's always exciting to see people of the next generation going, I'm gonna take the extra time and teach myself skills and teach myself things that I'm passionate about.
yeah. So you're kind of teaching yourself, and you have learned it from your mom that teach yourself. Your mom taught you how to teach yourself, or you should learn to teach yourself always.
Mm, yeah.
Awesome. And with these thoughts, you are learning Hindi by your own. You started it on your own. How is that going, and how is your journey been?
Yeah. So yeah, मैं 2 सालों से सीख रहा हूँ, हिंदी सीख रहा हूँ और हाँ ठीक 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 है, it's going alright. मुझे लगता है कि कुछ areas में मैं समझ सकता हूँ और बोल सकता हूँ, लेकिन I have a long way to go. But Deepak has been an awesome teacher, so he teaches me lots of great stuff. But yeah, it's been awesome. मेरे बहुत हिंदुस्तानी दोस्त हैं online पर और आजकल yeah मुझे मजा आया. I'm enjoying learning Hindi.
Awesome. तो आप अपने आप से हिंदी सीख रहे हैं. आप किसी इंस्टीट्यूट में नहीं गए हैं, किसी स्कूल में नहीं गए. आप बहुत अच्छा लगा जब हम ऐसे देखते हैं कि आप खुद को ही पढ़ा रहे हैं. आप अपनी जिम्मेदारी किसी और को नहीं न देते हुए.
हाँ हाँ.
Awesome thing.
Yeah, yeah, मैं sort of like online से किताबें से और दूसरा हिंदुस्तानी दोस्त से सीख रहा हूँ.
Awesome. So
Yeah,
yes, I think that's pretty much it for today.
great.
Awesome. And
Well,
yeah, we would love to talk to you again about different topics, about different teaching, maybe someday on about Bible. So it would be our pleasure to hear from you. Awesome.
awesome.
Thank you so
Thank,
much for joining us, Noah bhai.
thanks, Deepak. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.